Hey guys, what's up? It's Rygar the Destroyer, and today we're going to be taking a look at Master Chief from the Mattel line of Halo action figures. This guy is pretty cool, but before we take a closer look at his package, I just want to mention that this video might be a little bit longer because I'm going to be making comparisons to the McFarlane Halo figures and kind of talking about what I think of this line and talking about some of the criticisms and things that people have been saying about it. But we'll get into that later, so let's go ahead and take a look at his packaging. Here it is. It's got a nice see-through window on the front. It's got all of his weapons, and some of his armor pieces are actually displayed in the box. Partially, I think that's to make it look like you're getting more than you really are, and also it just kind of shows off that it is removable. Down here in the corner, it does come with a Build-A-Figure piece for the Alpha Crawler. We'll talk more about that later as well. So here's the figure. You can remove all of the armor, like I said, and you get this. I won't be doing it in the video because it's kind of tedious, but it does all come off. Comes with two weapons, and then here's a picture of the figure with all of the armor on, as well as all of the other figures that are being released in this wave, aside from the Elite on the Ghost. And here's also a picture of the Build-A-Figure. So let's go ahead and take a look at the figure itself. So Master Chief here stands at about 6¼ inches tall. I'm almost positive that means that he's not in 1/12 scale. He should be taller than that. So this isn't a 1/12 or a 6-inch scale line. It's slightly under that. Not a huge deal. I mean, I don't care. I'm not going to be really posing them with any other figures other than the other Mattel Halo ones. He does have some paintwork on there. And this is the first thing that I want to talk about is a lot of people are saying that they look cheap because there's not a lot of paint on them. Well, actually, there is quite a lot of paint on them. Nice sparkly metallic orange for the visor, black done there, red on the armor, certain places. There's two different tones of green. There's the molded and the painted on, and then the black over the figure. So it's not as much paint as we've seen with the McFarlane figures, but there's definitely enough paint there to be acceptable. I don't think that the figures look like plain. They are more plain than the McFarlane figures. If you take a look here, this has got, you know, dry brushing and everything done to it. So it does look much better. But that's because Mattel is a toy company, and McFarlane, or I guess originally kind of started with like statues and things of like baseball players. So they have a background in making better painted figures and better sculpted figures. Because the sculpt work on this isn't bad, but in some places it is a little bit soft compared to the McFarlane figures. So it's just different. It's not bad. This by no means looks bad. I think that the proportioning on it looks great, actually, as far as his bulkiness looks really good. But that's just a complaint that I want to address. You know, if you want a figure that looks super realistic, the McFarlane figures are definitely there, but if you want an actual figure that's articulated, you'll want to go with the Mattel ones, and I'll explain more about that later. But let's go ahead and look at his accessories. The first one here is his assault rifle. Nice sculpt work on this and paint work, and it does fit in his hands, and he has a trigger finger, so he actually holds his finger on the trigger, which is nice. It does have a weapons peg hole here. And you get two different weapons pegs for this guy, one for the assault rifle and one for his other weapon, which is the energy sword. This is one place that I think Mattel improved upon McFarlane. It's a much simpler design, and it's not totally accurate because he's got these little pieces here, but those just keep it from getting warped and broken. And the clear plastic that they chose for this looks really nice, and then it's frosted up towards the tip, which I think looks good. And then he also comes with, also weapons peg hole, also comes with a hand, an interchangeable hand for holding the energy sword. McFarlane did sculpt a hand for holding the energy sword, but it wasn't interchangeable. So just a different take on how to do an action figure. It's not better or worse than McFarlane, but it is nice, you know, to get a hand specifically for, you know, the accessory and the figure that you're purchasing. Finally, he does come with the rear half of the Alpha Crawler. I'll talk about this more later. I don't have all of the figures in so far, but I will do a review of the Build-A-Figure in its own separate video. So back to this figure here, like I said, all of the armor is removable, so technically those could be considered accessories, but I don't really count them as accessories because I'm imagining most of the time people are going to have them on the figure anyway. As far as articulation goes, he's got what feels like a double or single ball peg in the head here. Gives him a nice range of motion up and down, which is nice. Ball hinge shoulders, do swivel 360. A bicep swivel, which is nice. Double jointed elbows. If you've seen any other reviews, you'll know that the double jointed elbow is basically a single jointed elbow. The top joint is not going to be doing much. It is there technically, but it doesn't do a whole heck of a lot. As far as the wrist is concerned, it's got a hinge and a swivel, which is basically all you need. In the chest, he's got a ball peg, which works well. It's not the best range of motion forward and back, but it's enough, in my opinion. He's got T-jointed hips, which go out to the side this much. That is a whole heck of a lot better than McFarlane figures, that's for sure. The legs do also kick forward a fair amount. I wish that was a little bit more. They're going to need, I think that they should redo the way they've done this here. Basically what they've done is they've dropped the back and butt down over the back of the hip here, which looks nice when he's standing there. It's a more seamless sculpt, but it does limit the range of the articulation. So it basically doesn't go back at all at the upper hip there, which is a problem, definitely. He has an upper thigh swivel, which is nice. Double jointed knees. So finally we can get our Spartans into a crouched pose, which is amazing. He also has hinged ankles with an ankle rocker. So it's more up to the standard of like Marvel Legends or the Star Wars Black Series as far as articulation is concerned, even though some of it is a little bit more limited than I would like. Some other things I want to mention, he does have weapons peg holes on his sides and on his back like the McFarlane figures do. So overall, what do I think of this figure and this line? I definitely like this figure, and I think that I'm going to embrace this line. I know a lot of people have a problem with it, and it's just because they're upset that all of their McFarlane figures are now out of scale and you can't complete any of their teams. But the way I'm looking at it is, look how many Halo 5 figures McFarlane has released so far. Mattel is getting close to matching it with just the first wave. They've already released a vehicle, and I just don't think that any of our teams would have been completed by McFarlane anyway. Even though the McFarlane figures look nice, there are some kind of limits on the articulation that the Mattel figures fix. It's not perfect by any means, but this is their first attempt, so I'm hoping that they get even better. I definitely recommend this figure. I've purchased all of the new Mattel Halo figures and just expect reviews of them coming up here. So if you have any comments or questions, please leave them down in the comment section below, and I guess I'll see you later.